I I had to laugh because it's true. They all cry about how there's no money for this or that. And then Cranes, I follow Cranes because they always tell you what's going on in terms of big time corporate developments. I'm going, where did this money come from?
They find it, then put up very little of their money, take all the TIF and bond money, and then cry broke when we got to pay for shit in the communities.
Yeah. By the way, I have to give a shout out to Lori Lightfoot. Every now and then, Lori, you follow where I'm going with this one, Jeanette. So I was disappointed with Lori Lightfoot as a mayor. Everybody knows that. But lately she's been speaking out, and since she's no longer the mayor, every now and then she speaks out. She totally trashed the Lincoln Yards plan. And essentially said they didn't have the money from their end to do what they wanted to do. And so as soon as they got the city to pony over all that TIF money, they wanted more. They wanted more money.
Yeah, because they know that because people just want to develop downtown, and they know that every mayor, the city of Chicago, loves their downtown. And so no lies detected.
All right, so I'm going to go through this. 27 to 22 is the vote. I'm going to say something off the top. To me, the most courageous vote of that 20 of the 49 who voted, one alderman wasn't there, of the 49 who voted, in my humble opinion, young Daniel Espada of the First Ward. This dude voted with Jeanette. He voted no. Now his ward is the reason I say courageous is because in terms of politics,
he has a difficult ward. Yeah. But Daniel also talks to his community. Sometimes it's the people in our ward that don't understand the dynamics. And I think Daniel has done an amazing job with making his community understand it ain't about it shouldn't be about the haves. It is about the have and have nots. And while we have so much, what about other wards? And so I think Daniel, they didn't vote him in twice. And so I think he's changing the mindset of how we look at things. But it goes back to that people not really understanding politics. We can't continue to say, as long as my ward is clean, as long as my ward has the institutions, as long as my schools are great, so fuck everybody else. We can't do that anymore because you know why? They're not going to rob us because we ain't got a damn thing. They're going to start robbing your ass. So continue. Keep it up. Greed has no end. It don't care. You notice the amount of shootings and killings and robberies that are now happening up north and less out south. And not to say that is right. Don't talk about Alderwoman Taylor condone violence. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you don't give people what they want, they figure out how to get it. And they know we ain't got it down here. The median income in my ward is $25,000. But 4 blocks from my house, there are sold 2 homes that are worth $964,000. Who could afford that? Because Alderwoman Taylor can't. So if you see me on the corner, just wave. Don't ask what I'm doing there. I'm trying to figure out how to stay in my community. But that's the reality.
Yeah.
And those are things that we're going to have to face while we worried about other shit in other countries. And don't get me wrong. The abuse and things that America has done to other countries and that have had the other countries, yes, we got to have sympathy and empathy for those folks. But we got to take care of our own shit.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's exactly, I began the show talking about the element in MAGA that says no more foreign wars, no more regime change wars, and they sound a little like you. And then they, of course, run away as soon as Donald Trump says stand in line. But I believe that
that ain't a line I'm standing in.
Yeah, I know they're. Yeah, I know that. But my point is that point that you just expressed is one that I think many people across the lines, across Democratic and Republican boundaries, agree with. They just can't get it together to vote for whatever reason for someone who expresses that.
Because there's cash and chaos. They get paid to do that. That's what they get paid. It's the same thing that I tell people. These folks are protesting. They ain't protesting for free. There is a paid organization that's paying to go against Brandon Johnson, socialists, and Black Democrats who don't go along to get along. They get paid to do this. What Harold used to say, take the money and vote for me. So I hope that's what they do.
Yeah, you take the money and vote for me. You know, in the old days, it was turkeys actually.
Ooh, turkey and
They,
ham. Oh, I hate being a turkey and ham and toy alderman. It drives me nuts. So
yeah,
you only gonna vote for me because I can give you a turkey and ham? No, vote for me because I do my damn job and I'm trying to make your life better. And a
yeah.
turkey and ham, and let me say this, being for everybody. I've stood in those lines because me and my families have needed it. But that don't make me vote for you to make me think you got common sense when I see what you do and how you vote every day.
Mm.
And information is free. Y'all, everybody has Google, everybody got the internet. There's no excuse. You can Google how people vote and what they think about you. And so people gotta wake up.
So to that point, uh, a sign that Chicago is, how do I put this, divided to a certain degree.
We are.
27 to 22 again on this issue. So again, folks, this is an issue. It's essentially a law and order issue. And this is basically a symbolic law and order issue, Jeanette, where the appropriate response, the backers of this, is just to send in the police and crack down on people. And that's appropriate response. So it's 27
No,
to
say it
22.
again to crack down on young black people.
Yes, that is correct. I said corrected. Yes, I said corrected. And it's funny because when you get to be my age, I'm going to share this with you, Jeanette. It's a little embarrassing. When you get to be my age, every large group of young people is a little scary. See, you know what I mean? When you get to, I understand.
But that's
Like,
honest though. That's honest. I'm not mad at you for being honest. Now, me on the other hand, now I ain't been on the bus since COVID. So let me not lie and say all the woman Taylor ride the bus. Cause I just don't. It ain't in my time frame. It don't give me where I gotta go because I don't drive. But I go on the back of the bus because I want to see what they talking about. I want to learn the newest lingo. We in here, and I'm a Gen Z. No, I'm an X. I'm a
you're a Gen
Generation
X.
X. I'm an X. See,
You
you got
are.
me confused when you call me a millennial. I'm an X. And so I'm singing they songs, but I don't know what the hell they talking about, Ben.
I know.
So I go on the back of the bus and I hang out with young people and they go to the events so that I know.
Uh,
Like I'm singing they songs and they talking about stuff that I'm not doing. But I'm
no,
singing it with my whole chest, Ben, because I like it and it got a rhythm to it, but I don't know what the hell they talking about.
I don't know. Yeah, it's wow, it's beyond me. But the point is, whenever I see like 20 young people, and it doesn't matter what their race are, I get a little nervous. And so to me, the one day that scares me the most, where I don't go anywhere anyway, is St. Patrick's Day. There's so many drunken people on a train in downtown. And Jeanette,
And
where's
but
the
they ain't black,
curfew?
is they?
I don't see a lot of
They ain't black, is they? I'll say it because you won't. They ain't black.
no, they're not. So, Alderman Riley,
But
let's go. Let's
look,
get that stuff.
but where is
Snap
the curfew
curfew.
for their ass? Where the curfew
Yeah.
for their ass? Where's the curfew? Is the 30-minute curfew gonna go in effect for their ass?
Uh,
Got it.
come on.
I can't
Come
believe
on,
what you say
Alderman
because I see
Riley.
what you do.
And you too, Alderman Hopkins. The two of you. Let's go. Let's get to work on that. Snap curfew for all of St. Patrick's Day. Get
I'm
the
not
drunk
gonna do
people out of the
that.
loop. There's
Not gonna do
growing up.
that. They're
All right.
not gonna do that. Come on.
I'll tell you one thing. The black aldermen were divided on this. I got to do a rough. I think it was 10-8.
Black aldermen are always divided. That's what we do.
There was one point in history in the city of Chicago where black aldermen were not divided. And you were still probably in high school or grammar school. And that's when the great Mayor Harold Washington was the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And we had council wars. And there wasn't one black alderman who dared to vote against Harold Washington. And I've had many discussions with people about that. But the reality was they knew that if they voted against Harold Washington, they would lose. And a couple of them did. Robert Shaw and I have had many conversations about that. The late Robert Shaw, may he rest in peace. So what I'm saying, Jeanette, is that the notion of one black voice and supporting a mayor simply because he is black is long gone, for better or worse. And I don't know if it's better or worse, but I'd love your thoughts on this. Go ahead.
It's worse because we don't even see each other as folks who are supposed to work together. We see each other as enemies, and we're out for self. But that is a long history of black politics. We have not learned that we have to work together. And I'm going to be honest, I have been guilty and thought about not being part of the Black Caucus because I feel like we're very silent on a bunch of issues and we don't really stand together like I want to see. And so we do, it's like high school there. You get with a clique that you can kind of agree with politically, who will support you in your bullshit that you do, will go along to get along and not push the envelope. But then we also got to look at what those communities represent. I have a community that's growing, and that's getting younger. And so they tell me their values. They tell me what they think. I have a bunch of constituents who hate low income housing, but don't realize the median income is 25,000. But also don't realize if you build two homes that are $964,000, your damn property tax going up, and that ain't got nothing to do with the low income tax. That ain't got nothing to do with those people who get a subsidy. Nothing. And so they don't understand politics. But there has always been this black elitist in Chicago. You see it, it plays out a lot in the wards that you all don't get to see. But those also the people who will get up off their ass and vote. And so I tell young people, if you want a space, vote. Be a part of the conversation. Yeah, it's boring. Yeah, you don't like it. My mentor, Jay Travis, is a woman that I love, I adore, that I still call today when I'm going crazy. When I told her when she ran for office that I didn't get in politics, the one thing she said that was shut up in my bones was, you might not be getting into politics, but it's getting into you. It decides where you live. It decides how much you make. It decides your protections on your job. It decides the kind of food you eat. So yeah, stay out of it. But just know these people are going to continue to do things that make them and their family rich while leaving you behind.
Mm. Jay Travis. Haven't talked to Jay in a while. Hello, Jay. And ran against Christian Mitchell. Remember that?
Yep.
2014 and then 2016.
Yep.
Seems like ancient history. By the way, Governor Pritzker just announced that he's going to run for re-election. This just popped into my head when you mentioned Jay Travis. And this is how it works. This is how my brain works, Jeanette. You said Jay Travis. I thought back immediately to the race against Christian Mitchell.
Well, they call her cult leader.
Yes.
And where now is Christian Mitchell? He works for the University of Chicago.
Yes, I am about to...
This world just, you can't make this shit up in. You cannot.
Hello, Christian. I know you're listening.
You can listen. Christian does what he's supposed to do in the 20th ward when it comes to the University of Chicago. Yeah. Ain't my beef. I realized in coming to this space, there are a lot of people that I couldn't stand and wouldn't refuse to work with. I don't have that choice in the seat because I owe it to my community to get them the best and to make sure that they're informed and they get what they need. And so,
no, these are ancient arguments, but I would always argue with Karen Lewis. May she rest in peace. Karen, just make up with Christian Mitchell. He'll Ben, you don't understand.
I was just about to say, you don't understand how it is for a black woman because we give you so many chances. That's just like Kamala living her best life, and people talking about where Kamala is. I hope she on vacation. I hope she getting her nails and her toes done and getting her back cracked. That's what I hope she doing.
Yeah.
Because she tried to tell y'all, she told y'all this was gonna happen, and then y'all talking about where she at, living her best life. Enjoy, Kamala.
Yeah.
Enjoy, Vice President Harris. Please do.
I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but when you said Jay's name, it just like snapped in my head. I go,
oh absolutely, because there are a lot of things that we haven't learned the lesson of Harold Washington. People love throwing his name around. Harold was this, and we was in coalition, and we ain't doing none of that shit now. It's every man for themselves, and I'm talking to Black and Latino folks. We ain't learned shit from Harold Washington's legacy. And so stop using his name in vain. Stop talking about him. If you ain't going to do the work to do what he did, because remember, this is the man that got the Rainbow Coalition together to get him in office to create some change. He didn't get to see a lot of the things that he wants to implement because they stressed his ass out and killed him. That's what they stressed his ass out. And so stop using his name. Stop talking about my grandfather worked on his campaign. You didn't learn shit from it. Stop saying I did this for him. What did you learn from him? And what are you doing to create that? I always know what my role is in this space, and it's to be an organizer, bring people together who I wouldn't normally talk to, who I wouldn't normally work with. That's why what I'll say about Brian Hopkins is, while he wrong on these issues, he's dead. He got his foot planted when it comes to missing Black women. He's there. He wants to go to Minnesota where they got a Black, an Indigenous, and a Black missing women's in their departments down there. He wants to learn. He's been part of the coalition. He wants to have a conversation. He's just wrong on this end, and I think it's because he lives in that box. He lives in his downtown box, and he does not understand the likelies of me living in my community. Imagine me telling young people, "Hey, I'm gonna give you some money, but you can't go downtown," because that's what you're basically saying. And you got parents. Where is the parent accountability to this? We don't ever talk about that. Because while there are some parents working 80 hours and don't know where their children are, there are some people that's sitting there right at home and ain't worth figuring out where their kids at. I got a son who is in his 30s. He just got out of prison. He can't go nowhere. He can't leave up out the porch. He can't hang out. He can't do a goddamn thing. His location is on my phone. I'm on him 24/7. And not to say that I wasn't on him when he was in the world, but I figured he was an adult. He could figure it out. He is an adult. He can figure it out, but I'm going to be on him every step of the way. I work too hard. There are people who work hard on your behalf every day. There are too many programs. There are too many spaces for you to make it out of coming out of that system. And I'm not going to let you fail. And so if we all had that attitude, we could change a whole bunch about this city and this country.
Well, you really got to ride kids, Jeanette. You got to stay on them. It's hard. They turn on you. They go through that phase. I'm saying
where they know everything and you know nothing. We did it too.
Yeah.
Listen, I had my first baby when I was 15 years old. By the time I was 19, I had 3 kids. My mother said, I don't watch no damn kids for you to go outside and kick it, only to school and work. And she meant that. And I thought it was the cruelest thing in the world, but it made me a kick-ass mother. I have 5 amazing children, 2 amazing grandkids. And I got kids who get up every day, fight for themselves, grind on their own, and do what they need to do for themselves. And I'm proud of that. I ain't asking them to be a politician. I ain't asking them to be a police officer. I want them to make money so that they can make sure they can be self-sufficient when I leave the world, because I'm leaving. And that's all we could ask for our kids and our young people. But we got to protect them. We can't throw them away when they fall. We can't ignore them. Like, they still need to be loved on. Like, we got some work to do in this country when we want to fucking make laws to mistreat young people. Just say you hate them.